What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we're going to be checking out how much electricity all of my fish tanks use. So make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out all of those links in the description. Make sure to check out the website, the Instagram, and also join our Facebook group. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Star Fisheries and Jimmy Goldfish, for all of your goldfish needs. Today I thought was a great video on topic with the huge rising energy costs, the massive increase in energy price, and a huge contributing factor to the goldfish and also the aquatic hobby. Energy costs and electricity costs in particular. So I thought it'd be on topic to do a video all about electricity costs. I'm also going to do a part 2 to this video on how to save electricity, cut down on electricity for your tanks as well, so hopefully you'll stick around for that one. Today I thought I would go around to all of the different tanks, work out how much electricity each tank uses and how much I actually spend on my fish habit basically. And I thought maybe it would be an interesting video for you guys, and I'm also going to show you how to work out how much electricity and how much it costs you per month, so you can do exactly the same thing at home, and hopefully it helps some of you guys out. And then in part 2 hopefully you can save you a little bit of that electricity as well. So first off, let's take a look at the monster tank. What we need to do is we need to get all of the individual pieces of electrical equipment. We need to add up all of their wattage. We can do a big calculation, or we can simply enter it into an electricity calculator on the phone or tablet, and then we can work out how much electricity we're actually using. So first up, as I said, we're going to hit the monster tank. So first things first, we've got the light at the top of the tank. Now this light at peak performance uses 90 watts of power, but because of the huge electricity increase in price, and generally the fish don't need that much brightness, I've currently got it set at 40 watts of power. Next up, you may notice I have a wave maker at the back of the tank, and currently this is using 15 watts of power. I've also got the Eheim canister filter at the end of the sofa, and I believe that uses 25 watts of power. We've also got the 600 watt Skigo titanium heater. Generally for this video I'm not going to include the heater because I know most of our goldfish keepers that are watching the videos don't use heaters, and also heaters are really hard to calculate the exact usage, and it is best to use a plug-in meter, one of those plugs that you can put into the wall and then plug your device into, and this will inform you of how many watts is actually going to your heater. I'm going to exclude the heater for this video because the heater's hardly on. It is summer. I would say it's on around 20% of the time. It is not using all 600 watts. It only ticks on and off, so it doesn't use the full power, so it's quite hard to work out. So generally just for this video I'm going to use no heaters at all. But to give you a rough idea, so we've got 40 watts, we've got 15 watts, so 55 watts, and then we've got 25 watts on the filter. So that brings us up to 80 watts in total on this tank. So what we can do is we can enter it into an online calculator. So if I just get this on my phone now, we have got 80 watts to run this tank excluding the heater. So that is for the light, the wave maker, and the main canister filter. So if I'm working it out now, I can work out what it costs me to run for a 24-hour period. So 80 watts of power, excluding the heater, costs me for 24 hours using the current 2022 price cap, costs me 54 pence rounded up. So 54 pence to run this tank every day, plus that heater as well. I could go on a rough idea and say maybe the heater uses 100 watts of power a day, potentially, which is around 70p. So potentially this tank could be costing me around £1, £1.20 to run a day, which is quite a lot. And then if we extrapolate that into a year, so let's say it was around £1.20 with the heater, we've got £1.20 times 365 days. So over the year, this tank is costing me around £440 to run, which I didn't actually know, and I've just discovered that live on camera with you, and that is quite painful. I hope it doesn't quite cost that much, but yeah, with the heater potentially it could be costing around that much. But if I exclude the heater and go off the known wattages, I can work out exactly what it's using per day. So we said 80 watts. So 80 watts of power gives us around 54p per day, and then 54p times 365 equals £197 per year to run this tank with no heater. So generally, if this was a Goldfish tank with no heater in it, it would cost nearly £200 a year. We can divide that by 12 to work out the monthly cost, and I'm spending around £16.40 just to run this tank. It's quite an expensive hobby, especially when you add up, I've got the Ryukin tank, I've also got the fighter tank, and I've also got the top view Ranchu tank. Next up, we can work out what the Ryukin tank, so I'm going to head over to the Ryukin tank and let's check out how much electricity that one's using.
A few moments later.
For the Ryukin tank, we have got the all pond solution canister filter in the bottom under the cabinet, which is running around 55 watts of power. We've also got the air pump that is running the two air stones at the back of the tank, which is using 4 watts of power. And then finally, we've got the light at the top of the tank, which is only a measly 5 watts. So this tank isn't using nearly as much electricity as the main tank, and it also doesn't run any heaters as well. So we're currently using 64 watts at a continual rate to run this tank. So if I just plug that into the energy calculator, and I'll also put a link in the description or in the comment section of the energy calculator I use, and it's also got the current price cap of the average electricity value per kilowatt of power. So it's really simple to use, and all we need to do is input our wattage. So let's say we've got 64 watts to run this tank. 64 watts over a period of 24 hours means that this tank is costing me 43p every day to run. We've got 43p, so 0.43 times 365 means that this tank is costing me around, rounded up, £157 per year to run. And then we can quickly divide that into a monthly cost. So this tank is costing around just over £13 per month just to run the tank for these Ryukins. So I hope they are happy, and I hope they know what they're costing me. So far I believe we've got £13 to run this tank, and we've got 15 or 16 pounds to run that tank. So far we've got around 28 pounds in electricity usage. I'm not going to head outside to the Ranchu pond, but I do know both pumps on that one are very economical, and they're only, I believe, around 7 watts each. So we've only just got 2 pumps running that tank, so 2 pumps at 7 watts each. We can work that out nice and simply. So that is 7 times 2, so we've got 14 watts of power, and over a 24-hour period, that tank is costing me 9.4p to run, which is absolutely nothing, and is why I really love that Top View Ranchu tank, because not only is it cheap to look after, they're really easy to keep, and they are super hardy as well. So if we go 9.4p, so 0.094 times 365 days in the year, that tank is costing me a whopping £34 per year to run, divided by 12, £2.85 per month to run on the current UK 2022 price cap. £2.85, really can't complain at that. That is not even a coffee, it's not even a drink out at Starbucks or Costa. So that is absolutely great, and that is another reason why I love the Ranchu tank. And finally, we're going to head over to the Better tank, which I believe is another one of my most economical tanks to run. So I'll catch you when I get over there. Now we are over by the Better tank. This tank is really economical to run. First up, we've got the light, which is currently running at 2.5 watts. We've also got the pump at the back of the tank, which I believe runs on 4 watts of power. And then we have the heater. As I said with the Monster tank, I'm going to exclude the heater on this one as well. The heater is a 50 watt heater, just to give you some reference. But we can quickly work out what the value is without the heater. So we've got 2.5 watts plus 4 watts. So if I quickly plug that into the calculator, as you'll see here, this is the calculator I'm using. So we've got 6.5 watts in total, excluding the heater. Over a 24-hour period means that this tank is costing me 4.37p to run per day. So now I can do 4.37p into the calculator, times it by 365 days, which gives me £15.95 to run for the entire year, divided by 12. So this tank is costing me £1.32 per month to run, which is absolutely no cost at all. And another reason why I really like to keep these small nano tanks. So that is it for today's video. I hope I've helped you guys out. We've covered the costs on the monster tank, also on the Ryukin tank, the pond outside, and the nano tank. So over there we've got, I believe, £2.80, we've got £1.30, we've got £13, and then I believe we've got £16 on the monster tank as well. So currently I believe we're using around £35 per month on electricity. Just going some quick maths off the top of my head, we're using 35 quid on electricity, and that is excluding the heater on the monster fish tank. So I'd say currently in the summer we're probably using around another £10 in heat on the monster fish tank. So we're currently using around £45 in electricity on the fish tanks in total. So it really does add up. In winter I would say that heater is probably working 2, maybe even 3 times harder. So in winter we're potentially using 60, maybe even £70 in electricity to heat all 4 tanks and to run all 4 tanks. So that is definitely something to consider if you have got multiple tanks at home. As I mentioned, in the next episode we're going to be doing how to save energy, how to cut those energy costs, because I feel like it's quite on topic. If you've got any questions, please leave them down below. If you want your tank featured on the channel in the tank tours or the Rate My Tank series, then let me know down below or send me an email at fancygoldfishfanatics@gmail.com. The email is also in the description. I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. As always, thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.